Welcome! In this video we will be reviewing automation in OpenMoves, including programs, triggers, and autoresponders. Under automation in the navigation we have My Programs, Triggered Campaign Content, and the default autoresponder. First, let's start with My Programs. My Programs is where your workflows will be saved for each drip series. A program includes rules and criteria how contacts are enrolled, which campaigns they'll receive and when, and what decisions or changes you want to make regarding contacts' data or paths they take through the workflow. We will return to look at programs in more detail later in this video. Feel free to jump to 3 minutes and 30 seconds within this video to start looking at the program in more detail. Next, let's move on to trigger campaigns. Any campaign that is associated with a program or set as the default autoresponder or trigger must live here in Triggered Campaign Content. Your regular email campaigns in the Unsent tab within My Campaigns cannot be attached to a program or trigger. There are two ways to create a triggered campaign. You can create it directly from within the automation part of the navigation, or change a regular campaign settings to triggered. To create a new triggered campaign, you can go to Automation, Triggered Campaign Content, and click on the green button to add a new campaign. The process of creating a triggered campaign is the same as regular campaign, with one exception. You are not able to schedule a triggered campaign as you would a regular campaign. The scheduling of a triggered campaign is managed through a program or its trigger settings. The other option to creating a new triggered campaign is to change a regular campaign settings within its first step. We are now looking at the first step of a regular campaign. To change a standard campaign's settings, go to Campaign Settings and change from Standard to Triggered. The campaign will automatically move from your Unsent tab to Automation within the Triggered Campaign Content. Next is the default autoresponder setting. Here is an optional setting where you can select a default autoresponder that will be sent to anyone who replies to any sent campaign. You can select any one of your triggered campaigns. It is also possible to trigger an email campaign to immediately go to a contact when they sign up and enter an address book for the first time. This is managed directly from the address book's properties. Let's take a look at an address book's properties to see how that's set up. Create or locate the address book the contacts will join when they subscribe. Click on the document icon to view the address book's properties. Scroll down to Campaign Join Action and select the campaign you want them to receive upon sign-up. Remember, these are only your triggered campaigns. Additionally, you can enroll contacts into a program after subscribing them to this address book. And you can also trigger a campaign to go to contacts if they unsubscribe from this address book. This covers the different automation and triggered features within your OpenMoves account. Now, let's return to My Programs, where we'll look at a workflow settings. All right, so let's take a look at this program right here at the top. All right, so this is a templated workflow, a program that's already in place for you, which is a good starting point to reviewing the nodes and the options you have within a program. So every program begins with the Start node. So to set any of these nodes according to the criteria that you need, just click on it to see the settings. So within the Start node, we have Set the Schedule. If you are using an API, or you are using a program to enroll your contacts in another program, or as we saw in the previous step, you can also enroll people in a program if they join an address book. You could choose the No Scheduled Enrollment option. Or you can choose daily, weekly, monthly, or on a specific date. You can also set up, or you have to set up a rule, how the contacts get enrolled. It can either be from a specific date field or a segment. And if the segment doesn't already exist, you can create it here. And then lastly, limits. You have the option of enrolling people only the first time they meet the criteria, re-enroll them every day they meet the criteria, or re-enroll contacts in the program if they meet the STAR criteria, but not if they have been enrolled in the last however many days. So once you have your settings, you would just hit apply. A campaign, which is also here. So I'm going to click on it to change its settings. So when you select a campaign, again, you're looking for all of your triggered campaigns. And if you don't have one created yet, you can create a campaign here, but all it's doing is creating a placeholder for you. And then when you're done with your program settings, you'd have to go back to campaigns to actually fully set up the campaign. Delay. You have an option of putting space time between the different nodes in your program. So they can be delays between campaigns, they can be delays between a campaign and a decision or an action. So you can wait a set number of days till a set time of day. There's just a lot of different variations here you have to wait. In addition, over on the left side here, we have decision nodes. So I'll review each of these separately, but you have one that's called decision, a date split, a quantity split, and a random split. All right, so over here in your program, you have these lines that connect and show the path that's being taken through your program. At any point, you can actually click the X to remove those lines. So let's say I'm not ready to end the program yet. I'm going to lift that, put this kind of out of the way. All right, so first I'm going to bring over my decision node and click on it to create my rule. So from here you can create a condition. And if they meet that condition, they'll follow the yes path, and if they don't, they'll follow the no path. And as you can see here, there's quite a bit you can do. You can base it off if someone has opened or clicked, been sent, off of a data field rule. You can already have a preset segment or based off of a marketing preference. And then you have the option of passing them through this decision node immediately or retrying it within a certain time. You can also use the date split. So this allows you that at a certain time, you can, if the contacts reach this point, and if it's before this date, they go down one path, and if it's after, they go down another. This could be useful if you're running a promotion where the date ends. It could also just be used for an event. If the event has passed, you don't want to keep reminding people about your event. You might want to have them go down a different path or exit the campaign. You have a quantity split. So at this step, you could send the first X number of contacts down one path and the rest down a separate path. This again would be good for a promotion. If you say, the first 100 people to sign up get some sort of prize. And so a program can manage that for you. And the last one is a random split. And you do this by percentages of the people who arrive at this point. It could be good for a test, A/B testing. And also on the left, you have actions. So you can add a contact, remove a contact, or update a contact. So adding a contact allows you to place a contact once they get to this step in a specific address book or add it to another program. You can also have a contact removed. You can even have them deleted from the account. And this allows you to select which address book you want them removed from. Or you can update a contact. So this is especially helpful if you have a decision node. If you're identifying whether or not they've taken a specific action or opened or clicked, you can start actually entering values into their data fields. You can select the data field or you can create it. And you can also opt them or opt them out of selected marketing preferences that you have set up. So you have your end node, which we already have one up here. So if I'm done with my program, I can put it there. And then the last thing here is just a text label, which are what these are. So sometimes programs can get pretty complex, and the text boxes allow you to leave notes and descriptions for yourselves and your team, so you have an idea how the program is working. And some of these buttons up here will just show you how contacts are exiting the program, for example. And there will be a validation errors here. So this workflow is not finished. I still have a lot of settings that I would need to fully finish, and then all those errors would go away and it would tell you your program is fully validated. And then once you are ready, you can hit activate or save. You can save you can save a program that's not yet activated, so you can come back and return to it, and they will be listed as drafts until you activate them. So this concludes our video on automation and OpenMoves. I thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please email support@openmoves.com, and our resource site is located at support.openmoves.com. Thanks.